Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coby's Brain. We got a great show for you tonight. But first, give it up for our very own band, Ron Roach and the Alien Gang. Also, don't forget to give it up for my assistant, Coby's Body. Look at him. He even got a new suit. Doesn't he look great? Tonight's show features an interview with the one and only Nick Klesmith. But before we bring him on, we have a real treat for you. A short film which is a collaboration between Nick's brain and Coby's brain called The Headmaster's Address. Enjoy.
Is that all? I regret to inform you all that an assignment deadline has been set for the midterm paper. I'm hereby left with no other choice than to enact a Code Red protocol. We need all departments on deck indefinitely until further notice. We're looking at an extremely long night ahead, and that means overtime. I know, believe me. I don't want to do this. Look, these are difficult times. But so what? We're just supposed to give up? Call it? Just like that? We will complete this paper. We will find the right words to say. We will be victorious! Victorious!
All right, and now for the moment you've all been waiting for. We have the amazing opportunity to interview the one and only Nick Klesmith. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Good. How about you, Coby's Brain?
Not too bad. No complaints. So, Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I met the founder of Coby's Brain at University of Southern California while I was getting my master's in film and TV production. Before that, I did my undergrad at University of Texas at Austin with a minor in business. So I've definitely kind of known that I've always wanted to do film production from a very young age. I shot videos for football teams, for various other corporations in the commercial realm, and also music videos for a lot of local artists around the Austin, Texas area, as well as in Los Angeles too. But definitely trying to steer more in the narrative space.
Nick has been deeply involved in a number of projects that Coby, real Coby, has worked on, including Ron Roach and Paper Penguin, and now Coby's Brain. In these projects, Nick has used his phenomenal cinematography skills to enhance the visual quality of whatever project we're working on. Nick, where do these cinematography skills and skills with the camera come from?
Good question. Man, I mean, ever since I was like in grade school, I've always had a very photographic memory. That's kind of what got me through my preliminary education phase. I just memorized the textbooks, and yeah, I just started picking up. My first camera was like a little flip Mino HD camera, recorded 720p video with a fixed lens. And once I realized that I could shoot and record and edit videos, it sort of just a light bulb went off in my brain that I could maybe potentially do this for a living. And I just kept on making videos in my backyard with my friends, using airsoft guns to make like live action short films. And then I got the After Effects software from the Adobe suite, and that allowed me to do a lot of visual effects at an early age, especially whenever my friends were shooting fake Nerf guns and airsoft guns. I'd be able to put the muzzle flare in there and post, and the shell casings coming out. So And then I also cloned myself a lot too, because I didn't, when my friends weren't around and I still wanted to shoot stuff, I had to be my own actor in front of the camera, and oftentimes there were 3 or 4 of me.
So, do you have a artistic philosophy that guides the types of shots that you like to create?
That's such a multi-layer question. The number one thing that I look forward to whenever I start a group collaboration or I'm diving into a project is, what is the story, and how captivating is the story? Does the story interest me? And I generally like having a lot of movement in my frames. I find that whenever I go to a theater, I want to feel like I'm on a roller coaster almost, or I want to feel movement in my shots. And that's not to say that static shots are bad. They're certainly good in most use cases, but I really like to add a lot of movement in my frame. So I guess movement is kind of where I'm coming from whenever I approach a project or whenever someone approaches me with a project.
Speaking of projects that you've worked on, a very recent exciting project that we've both been involved in is Nick's Brain, the Headmaster's Address. I think this is a super interesting project for a lot of reasons, including the fact that it like other examples of animation that try to personify mental states like Inside Out or Big Mouth or Human Resources. Nick's Brain has a unique approach to personifying brain states. Tell us a little bit about your idea behind this fascinating short.
Yeah. So as you said, it kind of was inspired by a bunch of animated films, a lot of animated children films like Inside Out, like Coby's Brain.
Hell yeah.
I'd say the main inspiration though was from Minions and Despicable Me. That certainly shaped how I wanted the interior of the brain to look. Just a sea of Nick minions staring up at the one headmaster. And yeah, just that also informed how the minions talked, or lack thereof, I should say, because they don't really talk. But yeah, and it's also just like kind of looking at the id and the ego of the inside of anyone's brain, and just kind of like those mini conversations you have with yourself within your subconscious about what you're doing, whether it's on a conscious or subconscious level.
Yeah, very true. That's one of the things that got me the most excited about the project was the fact that uh yeah, I totally saw the headmaster as your kind of super ego, whereas the minions were your id, and that conflict between them is a makes for a pretty interesting kind of conflict in general. So is that kind of what you were going for, would you say?
Definitely, because I feel like, especially when you're a procrastinating creative, you come up with all these situations at the 11th hour in your head on how you're going to accomplish this one thing. Part of your brain says, it's going to be fine, we're going to get through it, and the other part says, oh, it's too late, we're done for. There's no there's no way we're going to finish this. We failed. So I think having that conflict, that inner brain conflict, was the perfect route to go with forming a narrative when there's just really one person in the scene entirely.
Right, right. And was there actually a moment, be it in high school or college, where you were this behind on a project and had to turn to the good old code red?
Yeah, this pretty much happened, I'd say, during every exam. I I was always a procrastinator. I didn't drink a lot of Code Red though. It mainly was just water. The Code Red was actually Coby's Brain's founder's idea. And I thought that was a really good addition that kind of brought the narrative full circle. But yeah, I definitely can speak from personal experience that is what goes through my brain, or what went through my brain during those very formative years of education.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, and I think another thing I really like about this short is the fact that this conflict between the super ego and the id is applicable to so many different things that we go through, be it any habit we're struggling to kick that our super ego knows is good for us, that the headmaster knows is good for us, that our id just attacks us and gets angry when our super ego doesn't give in. So Nick, what advice do you have for people out there who within their own brains have a super ego that needs to tell its little minions what it needs to do? What advice do you have?
I think just push forward at all costs. Just keep pushing forward and get to that goal.
Love that, Nick. So what's next for you, Nick?
Next up is going in the freelance, going into the freelance game, steady camming, going back to the whole my passion for camera movement, going into steady camming, also DPing a bunch of stuff, finding the gigs that I respond to the most, writing, reading here and there, trying to get some scripts made, trying to take this summer to produce some of my own content that I can hopefully get into some festivals. And yeah, just, keeping my head down and keeping the grind real.
We love to see that. And who knows, maybe a Nick's Brain episode 2.
Who knows? Anything's possible.
All right. We love it. We love it. Well, Nick, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It was a pleasure to have you. And we'll see you again soon.
Yep. Thank you so much. Coby's Brain. It's an honor to be on your show. Big fan of it. Love it. So when I got the call that I was a guest speaker, I was thrilled to say the least.
We loved having you on the show. And until next time, Nick, thank you all for watching. We will see you next time on Coby's Brain.